Hello and welcome to November's edition of Mixed Media Menagerie. This month we decided to use some leftovers from our previous months, so all of the ephemera that we have kind of gathered over the months. We're also using some liquid watercolor, a Q-tip, and a stamp, and we are picking 3 colors plus black and white. So I am going to do a spread here with my denim page in the middle because I wanted to do a flippy thing. I am not usually, like, I've done a lot of flippy things for Mixed Media Menagerie because I've been trying to like fan out a little bit and like try new things, and especially the Dina Wakley journal having the cloth pages kind of allows you to do that a little easier, more intuitively. So yeah, we're gonna put one of those in this today. But of course, the first thing I'm gonna do, I gathered all of my ephemera that I had saved, and I am taking my heavy matte medium, and I am just gluing some pages down in random spots. So as you can see, I did both pages, and now I am going to take some gesso and scrape that over the pages, and I'll also take a pencil and do some scribbles. So now I'm going to take my watercolors. I have an Ecoline watercolor in indigo, and then I have a Hydrus, I think Dr. P.H. Martin's in like a red oxide, and then I'm also just using a regular watercolor in a raw sienna, and I'm kind of just going over both pages with the watercolors in just random areas and hoping that they'll mix together and make some interesting different colors. The one problem that I had was that the Ecoline kind of sunk in a little bit. So like as you can see, like if you watch, you can kind of see that the vibrancy sort of disappears. And I'm not really sure why that is. I don't know if it's because of the brand or because I'm using gesso or what it is. But the hydrus kind of stayed real vibrant and everything. The only thing about that one was that it had some like clumps in it that maybe I didn't shake enough or something like that. So yeah, I've never really worked a whole lot with liquid watercolors, so it's something just a little different. So again, here I did both sides, and I'm going to kind of save you from that other side, you know, like just the length of it, because I essentially just did the same thing. And now I'm kind of cutting the majority of this denim page off. So I got this idea from Nicole, one of Nicole's videos. I want to say it was the April or May video where she did like the raindrops on the pages, and she cut down the denim real small like this and attached some things to it as the focal points, and I really liked that idea and I wanted to try it out. So that's what I was kind of going for with this, and she's kind of the queen of the flippy things, so I really kind of looked to her past projects for some inspiration. So now we're supposed to be working with 3 colors, but it doesn't mean we can only work with those 3 colors in watercolors. So I decided to take that kind of indigo blue kind of color and make it a little more prominent with this Stencil Girl stencil. I actually mixed Payne's Gray and a lighter blue, I think it's called Blue Shadow or something, and mixed those together to make this kind of deep indigo blue that I had wanted from the watercolor. So I also wanted to add some of that yellow ochre kind of raw sienna back in. So I took this other Stencil Girl stencil that has like this corn kind of thing. It reminds me of corn. I don't know if that's what it's supposed to be. But it kind of went with fall, so I'm using that to kind of add in my yellow ochre a little bit. I keep saying yellow ochre, but it's like a raw sienna. And I'm going to do that on both pages and that little flippy doodad. So now I'm going to take some white fluid acrylic with my Q-tip and just make some dots over my pages. I know that's so original for what to do with Q-tips. Thinking about it now, I should have done one of those like Q-tip dot flower paintings or something like that. Those are pretty cool looking. Or like cherry blossom trees or something. Anyway, so I'm just making some dots around my pages just to add something else to them. At this point, I'll be honest, like I know that I want to do the flippy thing and stuff, and that's like literally it. I really didn't have a whole lot of ideas going into this one except for fall and flippy thing. So I had these number stickers left over from one of the drops, and I really liked them when I had them, or when I got them, but I never used them. So I'm going to use them in this page, or this spread. But first, I want to use this tag and then this flashcard that I had left over from previous months, and I am going to put some clear gesso on it, and then we're going to paint them and make them like little focal points. I also wanted to make some collage paper from this other paper that I had included in one of the drops. So I wanted to take this tree stamp and just kind of stamp it all over to just make it look kind of cool and interesting. So now I'm going to take my watercolor and my flashcard and just kind of do the same sort of process that I had with my pages with these flashcards here. And I had brought out this other yellow liquid watercolor that I had left over from one of the other months that we had gotten some, and I just didn't like it. It wasn't like the same kind of color, so I wanted to use this raw sienna, and so I'm using the watercolor with the fluid acrylic, kind of both in the same way, so then they'll kind of mix and like be semi-transparent and stuff and kind of make a cool effect. And so I'm going to do that on the flashcard, and then I'm also going to do it on the craft tag. So I'm taking my stamps, and these are tree stamps from 100 Proof Press, and I'm taking this one and just adding some texture kind of bit to the card itself rather than using like a collage element. But then I'm also going to, of course, do a little kind of collagey thing. I'm making my phrase with my little sticker letters, and I'll put that and have that be, you know, the focal point. So now I'm going to do the same thing with the craft tag and the watercolors. This time I'm going to use the red and blue. I kind of wish, looking back at it, that I had used the blue and the yellow again, because that made more of a contrast and like stood out against what I already had on my journal pages. But you know, hindsight is 20/20. And then once this is dry, I'll use some collage papers, some stuff that I had left over from previous months, and kind of build up a focal point from there. So now I want to add some numbers onto my backgrounds or onto my journal pages. So I'm going to do that in some of the places where things are maybe a little more concentrated as far as the dots and the stencils and stuff like that. So that way, like, it kind of anchors those pages a little bit, if that makes sense. On this page, I don't really do that. I kind of do the opposite. Just because, I guess, just to see, I guess, what the difference would be. And, yeah. So I had this feeling that my pages were just a little too empty. I knew I wanted the focal points to ultimately be on that flippy thing, because that is the thing that I really liked about Nicole's pages that I was inspired by. So I wanted to put something else onto these pages. So I took my Stabilo pencil and I made some kind of botanical elements to kind of reference those stenciled little things. Corn, it looks like corn to me. I grew up in Illinois, so like every plant like that looks like corn to me. So I decided to do that, and I'm using water to activate my Stabilo, and I'm going to do this on both sides of the spread. So now I'm finally going to add my tag to the denim area. I decided to use a stapler to do this because I thought that would be the best. So I'm kind of lining it up where I want it, and then I'm going to put the flashcard one on the other side and staple that as well, and then I'll kind of glue them together on the edges. Oh, and I totally forgot, I added this little flippy bit of fabric between the two tags so that way you could flip them easy. I'm pretty sure that's also something that Nicole did that I thought was really cool. So if I didn't already have enough going on in this page, I found some leftover metallic leaf. So I grabbed the copper instead of the gold, so I didn't want to call it gold leaf. But it's something that we used in one of the previous months that Erin had given us. She had given us a couple different colors. So as I was going through all of my leftovers, I found this and I thought, why not? May as well add it. Like, there's so much going on in these pages, it's not like it really needs it, but it's all about leftovers, it's all about having fun and everything. So I decided, why the heck not? So I'm taking my glue stick and I'm just putting it in random places, and I take a paintbrush and just kind of scrape it off a little bit or brush off like the excess stuff. And I'm not a very patient person, so I don't really wait for it to dry a whole lot, but I still think it came out pretty cool and very shiny. And then here is the final project, and that's it. I hope that you enjoyed this kind of process in the video, and that you enjoyed this idea of us using up leftovers from previous months. And I hope you feel inspired to go use up what you have and create something awesome. So thank you for watching, and don't forget to check out Erin and Nicole's videos.